when you said goodbye, Mother.
Imus in the morning.
Thermostat?
No, it's at home.
Oh, well, Ed was going to come in and try to pry that open so we could fix it.
Doesn't Ed have a key?
Yes, but I don't think he wanted to come in while the light was on, so he was standing outside. And would you like him to come in and work on
Yeah,
it?
but do you feel how hot it is in here?
It's very hot in here. Very
And we're not concerned about us.
You're concerned about the rest of the
We're
station.
concerned about Russ and Steve.
I thought so.
Two live Jews have to come in and do a sports show. And by the way, have you listened to that show? Have you listened to their show?
Yes, it's very entertaining.
Well, it's one. It's very entertaining.
But they're funny.
It's funny. You're an idiot. So how are things going over WNEW? This WNEW-FM used to be one of the great classic rock radio stations in America. It used to be, years ago, one of the great rock and roll FM radio stations on the planet.
A legend.
Ranking with like, back in the Tom Donahue days out in San Francisco, that kind of deal.
It's recovering. It's definitely recovering.
Well, what do you got doing mornings over there?
Dave Herman.
Dave Herman. Man, that hurts.
That's the definition of not having
How about automation?
Nothing.
Why don't you get Scott and Todd, or what are their names?
Thanks.
Scott and Todd, these two little pipsqueaks, are on some FM station in New York. They're trying to syndicate their program, so they're running ads talking about how they whoop me in the Arbitron here in New York. Whoopee. We outbill them by about $40 million a year. So if you have a radio station in America and you're thinking about syndicating the morning show, would you want to syndicate one that does well in some meaningless Arbitron statistic, or somebody who's going to put your radio station in the black?
Scott and Turd.
Scott and Turd. Scott Shannon. God, just another Imus wannabe. Another little pimple on the man's butt.
That's it.
Many of those.
Dave Herman. Who else is over there?
Pete Fornatel.
Pete Fornatel.
Yeah. I thought you like all these people.
Oh, I like Fornatel. Yeah.
Scott Muni.
Scott's
when he's not on this program.
Yeah, Scott's you still drink?
No, not at all. Not for 11 years now.
Really?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
Guy sounds drunk to me in here.
Oh, stop.
Sounds drunk in here. What can I tell you?
Sounds out of it.
Don't you sound drunk to you, Lil?
Sounds out of it and drunk.
Yeah, he sounds out of it and drunk.
It's got to be an excuse.
How old? He's got to be about 70 years old, right?
Younger than that.
Okay. Who else you got?
Pat St. John.
He's in touch with what's going on.
Yeah, well.
Snooze.
Man, we're at Can't Eat T-shirt. Honest to God.
Then we have Dennis Elsis after that.
Dennis Elsis, yeah.
And
I like him.
Okay.
Actually, he's pretty good.
Yeah. Carol Miller.
Gay guy. Carol Miller.
What did you say?
Carol Miller.
Carol Miller.
Carol Miller. I hired Lisa Glassberg.
I had her a long time ago.
Carol Miller.
Yeah. Playing that late night rock and roll.
Oh, yeah. Took David Nyberg's place, right?
Yeah. And Jim Monahan does the overnights. And you know who works over there?
I've never heard of him.
Well, he's been there for like 17 years.
This is a guy who's been at New York radio for 17 years. We've never heard of him.
Well, he mostly used to produce the morning show.
Oh, great.
He did some part-time.
Did a great job there. Did a great job with the morning
show.
show.
We took him off the morning show. And Richard Neer, who works over here, works over there too.
Man, what a Richard Neer.
Richard Neer.
The zombie lineup.
Jesus, God almighty. I mean...
Well, you know what? They know their rock and roll, and that's the idea.
So they know to shut up.
So, yeah, they pretty much do, as a matter of fact.
The living dead. You ever seen Richard Neer's rug? Awful. I mean, what are you laughing about?
This one's great. Nothing.
I mean, that's just the worst rug ever. Worse than Marv Albert's rug.
It all sticks
out. I mean,
what happens with the Neer is he sweats all the time, you know? So his hair's wet around his temples and in the back and stuff. And he's got this dry rug on top that curls up in the back.
How itchy must that be?
I mean, it looks like a hair hat, doesn't it?
Perspiration trickles out from beneath it.
Yeah.
You can tell that.
But it
gets all the bitches, though.
I'm in the morning here with one of the great rock and roll disc jockeys of all time, Scott Muni, Scotzo.
Coming to you from 103.7 on your radio dial and 808.042 on your Dewey Decimal System. It's Looks at Books with Conan the Librarian, Don Imus. Man, I never thought there'd ever be anything more tedious than watching somebody do a radio show on TV, but there is. and it's watching somebody on the radio read out loud from a book. You in your cowboy hat quoting from the collected works of Ed Rollins, Carl Bernstein, Jeffrey Toobin, and Colonel David Hackworth. I'd rather watch Donna Shalala get a pedicure. And yet, as much as I hate to admit it, this MSNBC deal isn't all that bad. At least everything looks great. Incredible production values. Even that hideous show that's on after you. You know the one with the Bob Saget-looking dude with the hair helmet? With the set that has those high tables and bar stools and video wall map of the world? Making it look like somebody opened a Starbucks coffee shop at the supervillain's headquarters in a James Bond movie. Only problem is, MSNBC is the television, what Ace of Base is the rock and roll. Great package, just nothing happening inside. But you could pretty much say the same thing about the 30th Annual Country Music Association Awards. In fact, it's very similar to Imus NBC. The main exception being that although there'll be many goofballs in cowboy hats at the CMA, none of them has actually ever read a book. A 3-hour infomercial for grits and chewing tobacco. If you're at home watching Michael Bolton and Winona doing a duet, you might be a redneck. Prepare for a night of tedium unequaled in modern broadcasting history. The host, Vince Gill, who not only looks like Andy Kaufman, he thinks he's as funny as Andy Kaufman. And I guarantee you, by the end of the night, you'll wish he was Andy Kaufman. We won't just have to sit through his knee-slapping hee-haw hijinks as host. Vince happens to be nominated for 7 awards, including the big one, Entertainer of the Year, which means Jack Kevorkian could push his record into the 6 figures overnight if he'd just encourage all his terminal cases to tune in the Goober Gala. About the only other reason to watch the proceedings, aside from the euthanasia, is the youth in the running. Teenage sensation Leanne Rimes, who's a shoo-in for Single of the Year. Not because she's a young Patsy Cline, because at 14, she'll get the sympathy vote for being an old maid.
Walter! Walter Henry. I said, Walter Henry Hagen, you done gone and broke my heart. Imus in the morning.
How would you like to be able to read the morning news?
You know I can't be found sitting home all alone. If you can't come around, at least please tell the phone. Don't be cruel to heart is true. Baby, if I made you mad for something I might have said, please forget my past. The future looks bright ahead. Don't be cruel to heart is true. I don't want no other love, baby. It's just you and pick it up. Imus in the morning.
Joseph Lieberman here on the Imus Morning Program.
There is a rose in Spanish Harlem.
Imus in the morning.
Welcome to the news.
Driving that train, high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And you know that notion just crossed my mind.
Imus in the morning.
Well, how would I know?
A lot of them have breakfast sausages, you know.
No. This is a picture, and I could just as easily have been walking by a liquor store.
But you weren't.
Well, the hot dog stand is on the corner there.
Why are you eyeing the Frankfurter
How can
sign?
you? I got sunglasses on. How can you tell what I'm eyeing? I'm not eyeing anything.
Why do you have your wallet out?
That's not
Yeah.
my wallet. I don't carry a wallet. That's my cell phone.
Calling for your ATM card. New York Giants rookie running back Tiki Barber out for a couple of weeks, so Tyrone Wheatley will start Sunday against the Cowboys. Wheatley's an easygoing, pleasant chap who shared his philosophy of running with a group of school kids.
I respect no one, man. Hell, I mean, if I'm trying to go where I'm trying to go and you're in my way, I got to put you down, and that's just the way I take it.
Jesus. NFL needs more attitudes like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Tyrone. Baseball playoffs are here. They begin today. Astros and Braves in Atlanta. Braves, of course, the huge favorite there, but Astros manager Larry Durker is all fired up.
You know, it's a game. You go out there and play, and we think we've got a chance.
Well, not exactly Newt Rockney, but apparently that'll do for the Astros.
Well,
1:07 Eastern Time, first pitch there.
he's not wrong about it, is he?
No, he's not.
Oh, what do you want? Oh, great. I'll be sitting down there on jury duty, and they got baseball games on.
That's right.
That's great.
Adding to the burden here.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. Giants and Marlins will be in Florida. That's a 4:07 Eastern Time first pitch.
Maybe the hot dog guy have the TV set up.
That will be fine.
Most of them do have those little things.
Yeah, they do.
So you can have lunch while you're watching a game.
No. There's no lunch. What are you talking about, the lunch?
Well, quick lunch.
Don't they go to lunch from, what'd you say, from 12 to 2 or 1 to 2? And, you know, I try to be cooperative with the photographers and these other people. I mean, but why not? But because I wasn't buying a hot dog, I was walking by it. How can I help that?
Oh, ironic.
And what do they do? You try to cooperate, what do? They hose you.
Well, it appears that way, yes.
They've trapped you.
Yes, they did. It's actually now how Princess Diana must have felt.
Absolutely.
Driven to her death, and I'm being driven to, well,
suicide? Maybe?
Well, what, Bernie? Keep hope alive.
Tonight, it's the Indians and Yankees in the Bronx. You'll be able to watch that if you're all finished your jury duty by then.
Yeah, right.
Yankee manager Joe Torre was asked for his starting lineup.
Raines, Jeter, O'Neill, Williams, Martinez, Curtis, Boggs, Girardi, Sanchez.
All right. Right. In case you missed any of the starters, here's Torre again.
Raines, Jeter.
No. We don't want to hear the starters again.
Well, some people like to fill out their scorecard early.
Well, they can watch tonight.
While others do other things during the day.
You shouldn't be required. You shouldn't in fulfilling your civic duty. Part of the deal shouldn't be that you're held up to public ridicule.
Right.
As being portrayed in the newspapers this morning as a juror reject. But any moron can get on a jury.
Or subjected to ambush photography, for crying out loud.
By the paparazzi.
That shows you, in an area that you didn't want to be seen in.
Well, no, I mean,
no. And you know they knew that. You know they knew that.
They listen.
No.
Of course they listen.
The U.S. Open hot dog history.
I'm walking by a hot dog stand.
Yeah, we see that.
Tell me about it.
Well, I
know.
mean, there's no...
And that's where they could have shot you anywhere, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, they can see the car behind. I had just gotten out of the car, and I was, and Rocco's to the left of me there, and he and I are walking in the courtroom.
Why
courthouse.
Didn't they get you as you were emerging from the car before you reached that particular point where they would see you staring?
Well, they were all over taking pictures of Mike Tyson and Mitch Green. So they didn't spot the I'm in until I was unfortunately standing right next to the hot dog stand.
Delicious beef frankfurters.
Romeo,
Yes, Mickey.
how you call your lover boy?
Come here, lover boy.
And if he doesn't answer?
Oh, lover boy.
And if he still doesn't answer?
I simply say,
Imus in the morning. What?
Sponsored by DirecTV. Mets pound the Giants. Pounders. 15-6. At nearby Shea Stadium, where an enormous rain cloud has been for the past several hours. Well, the Mets still 6.5 back of the wild card spot. Giants fall a game and a half back of the Dodgers in the NL West. San Francisco first baseman J.T. Snow spoke about his desire for the rest of the season.
We just gotta hopefully win more than we lose.
A rather revolutionary approach. Baseball. Fine addition to our sport. Tonight, the semifinals of the WNBA. First game, the Charlotte Harlots against the Houston Hoes. No. I'm sorry. the Charlotte Sting against the Houston Comets, and then the New York Liberty against the Phoenix Mercury. Phoenix coach is Cheryl Miller, who's like a mother to her players. In fact, she calls her team my baby, and Miller says the Mercury are in for a long playoff run.
Me and my baby, we gonna shine time.
Hall of Famer Cheryl Miller. U.S. Open tennis, a major upset yesterday. A minority acquired a ticket to the stadium court. As for the matches today, top seed beats Sampras. He'll play somebody. Sampras has noticed a difference on the court at this year's Open.
The balls are definitely softer, so...
Sampras said the same can be said for the locker room at this year's U.S. Open. In the NBA, two signings. The Bulls have re-signed Michael Jordan for a reported $38 million, the 38 standing for the amount of shots per game that Jordan misses. And Orlando has signed a free agent, Nick Anderson, a 6-year deal. Anderson likes the security, but he said that's not why he made this decision.
That's not what I really want. It's good, but that's not what I really want. I want the shiny thing.
Anderson referring to Pat O'Brien's head. And that's sports. I'm Mike Brady.
Imus in the morning.
Here now, headline stories we're following for you in the Imus in Washington Network newsroom.
I'm David Brinkley of ABC News, your program host. And I'm sure you're all familiar with our regulars, Walter Cronkite, Rush Limbaugh, and at our anchor desk in New York, Don Imus. Now the news. Here in Washington, President Clinton has just announced that the White House, taking a cue from a French group, will try to go them one better in an AIDS awareness demonstration. For World AIDS Day, the Paris group draped a 72-foot-long pink condom over an obelisk in a Paris park. Now, Mr. Clinton says, to further awareness here, First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton is going to be lifted to the top of the Washington Monument, where she will unroll a 550-foot red, white, and blue condom down the entire length of the famed American landmark. Mr. Clinton spoke moments ago at the Executive Mansion.
Just days ago, Hillary placed the star atop our national Christmas tree, so she's familiar with the requirements of the job. Further, guided by Surgeon General Joycelyn Elders, Hillary's been practicing by placing condoms over a banana, then a spackling bucket, and then a water cooler, and finally over Senator Patrick Moynihan of New York, who I'd like to personally thank for volunteering. Senator, you have the gratitude of a grateful nation.
Get this thing off of me.
Mrs. Clinton says she's sure the moment will be very emotional for her as she unrolls the contraceptive down the monument from a cherry picker, which seems somehow more than just mildly appropriate for the special occasion.
Also in Washington, Mr. Clinton has signed another piece of landmark legislation. After putting his signature on the Brady bill designed to curb the handgun menace in this country, the president has now signed the Brady Bunch bill with his high hopes of heading off any more of those deadly Brady Bunch or Waltons or Bonanza, where are they now, who the cares, or Bible shows that have been blamed for thousands of innocent television viewers taking their own handguns and placing them in their ears and pulling the triggers and blowing their brains out while watching this
And news from New York, what will the new First Lady of Gotham be doing when her husband, Rudolph Giuliani, takes over the reins at City Hall? Some developments in that area.
Excuse me if I may interrupt.
Fine.
We have a bulletin just into the IIW Network newsroom. Details are sketchy, but authorities say Lorena Bobbitt has just been arrested at the base of the Washington Monument carrying a chainsaw. While there's no word as to what her intentions were, District of Columbia Park Police are speculating that she heard about the intention of the Clinton administration to drape a giant condom over the structure and just freaked. The monument is said to have sustained only minor damage, and Masons say they feel confident they'll be able to reattach it to its base. Stay tuned for further details as they become available. We now return you to regular programming.
As I was saying, in news from New York, the wife of Mayor-elect Rudolph Giuliani, Donna Hanover Giuliani, has announced what she will be doing when her husband takes over the reins at City Hall. Eating. Mrs. Hanover Giuliani has accepted a position as co-host of a daily program on the new cable television food network, TVFN, launched just a matter of days ago. The show is being described as a McNeil lair of food and will cover subjects as diverse as glazing French toast to the propriety of an after-dinner cigar, a subject Mrs. Giuliani says she will handle herself, as she
she has never been averse to having the occasional white owl now and again herself. Smooth sailing in the new venture, Mrs. Giuliani, and bon appetit. And finally, at this hour, overseas, speculation continues to mount over the whereabouts of Michael Jordan. And more importantly, what might be happening to the Michael Jordan penis. Ever since retiring from basketball, Jordan has been thought to be hiding out at a Swiss ski resort, undergoing a surgical procedure to alter the appearance of his penis. Leaving this reporter, along with many others, to wonder why. Is the Jordan organ unappealing somehow? Too short? Too long? Or, as rumor had it, is it true that it strangely resembles Pat Sajak? Questions only Jordan himself can answer when and if he decides to resurface.
No, it's not Michael Jordan who's missing. It's Michael Jackson.
Oh, really? Well, then, just where's Michael Jordan?
Well, I don't know.
I rest my case.
Fine. Imus in Washington has been brought to you by iSearch, a job placement company.
Ladies, do you have low self-esteem? Willing to work within the confines of a meat locker mentality? Are you cowed by leering hard hats? Finally, could it be that you're a self-motivated demon worshiper, capable of balancing 5 brutishly irrational demands while simultaneously feigning interest in a one-sided, one-dimensional conversation that would make a deaf-mute scream? The Imus in the Morning radio program is taking applications for an Imus executive secretary. If you sound like that gal, send a resume of your previous job abuse experience to Imus program, Kaufman Astoria Studios, Queens, New York. You could be just around the corner from a complete emotional collapse. Congratulations and good luck.
All right, here on line 4 is Jason, also from Kalamazoo. Good morning, Jason.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Nothing.
They're giving you a snow job. Kalamazoo is not as big as they're making it sound.
Is it about to rain there?
No, it's not about the rain. No, it's about the population.
No. Moron face. Look outside.
Yeah, it's raining.
Poland?
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Inzamam ul Haq, charged with assault with a weapon, occurred during the Pakistani-India cricket match the other day. The fan from India heckling the Pakistani player with a megaphone.
Hey, you never smelled like a sewer. You can't play cricket for your life.
It's 33 after
Smell
that.
like between Madonna's legs, you
The WNBA has, speaking of stink, they got between Madonna's legs.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66,
Knocking the sand from my cleats with a tap of my bat and hurling a Roberto Alomar at the Clinton administration. It is I, Rush Limbaugh, the Babe Ruth of bombast, the Lou Gehrig of grandiloquence. And today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. You see, there's a potential disaster even greater than that of the Dole campaign to occupy the hearts and minds of the media. The millennia-old conflict between the Arabs and Jews. They've never been able to play nice, have they? But just as hope springs eternal, so do Clinton campaign opportunities. Bubba continues to shamelessly exploit world events to further his own political cause, employing photo-op foreign policy. What better way to sew up a few more thousand votes than launching missiles at an oil-hoarding sand monkey, or playing referee to the world's most venerable problem children, the Arabs and Jews, on the eve of the debate? If the way he handled Hussein was good for a major bump in the polls, what do you suppose a few well-placed patriots along the Fertile Crescent would do? I tell you, that might even be enough to get my vote. But nothing he's done thus far is as transparent as his playing host to the Arafat-Netanyahu bilateral chat and luncheon date, where despite the news blackout, we were able to assume two things. BLTs were probably not served, and Netanyahu didn't pick up the check. One thing is for sure, they ate in an atmosphere of tension rivaled only by that of Ovist's and Eisner's appearance on Larry King. Ah, to be a roach on that wall. Would you please pass the salt? We will not, without the concession of the mustard. You know, if you think about it, the primeval conflict in the Middle East resembles the time-worn struggle between the Democrats and Republicans. With Israel and Egypt, both sides claim they are right. The same can be said of Dole and Clinton, except with Bubba, the slide away from the left is only for the benefit of the campaign. At its basic elements, the crux of the Hebrew-Arab dispute is equivalent to the fundamental contention between Dole and Clinton, a shady land deal. In many ways, Bob Dole is like the Jews, with an unparalleled integrity and strong moral center based upon a firm religious belief. Bill Clinton, on the other hand, well, would you be surprised to hear that he's been locked in estrus with a farm animal or two? Coming up, Bill Clinton's letter to a friend calling Robert Dole the biggest prick in Congress. I've got a ruler, and we'll just see about that after this.
The semantics and what I like about Jews.
What I don't like about Jews, they're full of spite. Open up, sacred tunnels, dive in the dead of the night. Yeah. Been fighting with them for 2,000 years. There's no peace to which they when they're here, and that's true. That's what I hate about Jews. What we hate about you? You're so unjust. Full of greed, won't concede. God gave this land to us. Yeah. We're sick and tired of being called sheep, but at least we don't have sex with the sheep just like you. That's what we hate about you. That's what we hate about you. That's what we hate about you. What I hate about Jews, they've got such nerve. We did war, cause I'm sure they get more than they deserve. Yeah. All your camel jockeys where you can go screw. You're just jealous God didn't choose you, and that's true. That's what we hate about you.
This is Julius
And Ethel.
Rosenberg. Did you know that the majority of dead people are Jews? 85% of all dead people are Jewish. So remember, if you persecute Jews when you're alive, boy, are you going to get it when you're dead.
Imus in the morning.
Why?
Imus in the morning.
What makes Toyota play a role in so many
Zippity-doo-dah. And that reminds me of a song. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. I-man's looking very mean and gray. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. I-man married him a schoolgirl. She is sweet, a honey. Now she's gonna get his money. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Zippity, she hopes he'll pass away. Big weekend of sports coming up. NFL 97
That's really amusing.
kicks off this Sunday. The Bill Parcells era with the New York Jets starts. Jets will play the Seahawks in Seattle on Sunday. Jets a big topic in New York on sports radio, including this prediction from WFAN overnight host Joe Beningo.
I think, the Jets are going to be an explosive offensive club. I really do. As long as they can keep everybody healthy, as long as they can keep Neil O'Donnell erect.
Not quite sure what you mean by that. not elaborate on how exactly they should do that. And finally, Carl Lewis's competitive track and field career is over. Lewis raced...
He's 70 years old. Of course it's over.
He raced in a meet in Berlin the other night, a 400-meter relay. His team won, and Lewis thanked all of his people.
I wish to convey my deepest gratitude for your love and support. I am doing well and I am strong.
Well, we wish him all the luck in the world.
No, we don't.
As he now goes into his new career as spokesman for KY Jelly. For That's Sports, I'm Mike Green.
bottles of beer, empty from the neck up. The answer is A. Matt Lauer doesn't belong because unlike the other two, this particular suit dummy has seen the movie Booty Call twice, me Jesus. God bless us and save us the whole lot. Just have a lovely day.
Don got all Connors here with a whole lot of Jews in the audience, I tell you that.
Eva was a dreamer, never got it right. Died in living color, lived in black and white. Faithful as a magnifox, hung up on a song. She cried down to the breakfast nook, warned there's something wrong. Something wrong with the people. Something wrong with the people. Something wrong with the people. The believer is gone. Imus in the morning.
A senator from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the Honorable Edward Moore Kennedy.
Calcutta, are you crazy? Besides, Hillary is working this one, too. I wouldn't go 14,000 miles if the Pope himself was...
Senator, we're on the air here.
Excuse me? Oh, yes. Well, just working out a frequent flyer mileage discrepancy. Yes. Hello, this is Ted Kennedy. And may I begin this morning by saying how honored I am as a representative of your legislative branch of government.
Senator.
Yes?
You may want to get away from the mic just a little bit.
All right.
Not that far. But having spoken on these things for, 35 years, it might be a good idea not to try to eat it, though clearly you've eaten everything else.
That's true.
Please continue.
Thank you. May I begin again this morning by saying how honored I am as a representative of your legislative branch of government to have been invited here to Hagerstown today to participate in the 135th commemorative reenactment of an episode that marked a turning point in our nation's Civil War, the Battle of Antietam.
Yeah.
Today, and over the approaching weekend, 10,000 reenactors, students of history, are converging on Hagerstown to get away from their wives and recreate the single most costly day of that great conflict that once so imperiled our republic.
Yeah. I myself have been asked to join the reenactment.
Really?
By assuming what was the very vital battlefield role of observation balloon. As those of you who saw the recent Newswire photograph of me aboard my sailboat will be quick to understand, observation balloon is the only reenactment role for which I am qualified.
Yeah.
Jesus. Even I had no real grasp of just how I let myself go over this summer season. Viewed in profile, mop of gray hair atop the familiar Kennedy spackle bucket head, I looked like Newt Gingrich. No, and not as though I were the speaker, but rather as if I had eaten the speaker, a beach ball, and Maya Angelou. How my wife, Victoria Reggie, tolerates me is, well, it's one of life's enduring imponderables. Although, were I to speculate, I'd say it's because Victoria knows I may fall down dead any minute and leave her my share of the great Kennedy wealth, which has prevented me for so many, many years from ever having had to get a job. No small consideration.
No.
Now then, for those of you who will be attending events today and are interested in my schedule, here is a portion. After the preservation parade, eat. Federal cavalry demonstration, eat some more. Attend battle, surrender, get babe, and eat yet again. The only battlefield location to which I shall not be traveling today is the site spanning Antietam Creek, Burnside's Bridge, for obvious reasons. After all, we are engaged here in the reenactment of the Battle of Antietam, not the incident at Chappaquiddick, which I have no interest in reenacting at all at this point in time.
Oh, no.
And so now, as I depart to report to the site of today's historic engagement, ushers will be passing among you for collection of voter retention treasury coupons, which are green and in your wallets. Either I, Donald Fowler, Chris Dodd, the President, or Vice President Gore will put them to good use. And ask not then what this meeting is you've attended here today. Ask rather if there is any controlling legal authority governing what happens here that might require you one day to have to apply for a grant of immunity. Thank you. And with apologies to Dan Rather, but appropriately, a Tampa Mob solid.
Ted Kennedy here on my program. Shared the incommunicable experience of war. We have felt, we still feel, the passion of life to its top. In our youth, our hearts were touched with fire.
Imus in the morning.
Welcome to the Nissan.
Right wing, Johnson for three. How about that?
The Knicks take on Jason Williams.
I hung off the boxcar 20 hours a day. I have over 1,500 from on teddy bears. The only music I listen to is Delbert and Kinky. I have a cowboy hat just like you. I love you. I meant you, Will. I called Larry King once when he was interviewing somebody important. I said, what does your guest think about Don Imus's penis?
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
I want to be just like you. All I use blimpy subs. And Fred's hot stuff, I shave it in the Rocco. I pee in every phone booth I see. Shut up, get up.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
These days, it seems like everyone...
Imus in the morning.
How would you like to be able to read the morning news? Y'all like to come check that out. Check it out.
Call WPHD, which is a very fine affiliate there.
It's not a fine affiliate.
It sucks. All right.
You want people to come in Philadelphia to see you. They got trouble waking up in that town. You want them to come to see you.
Please welcome now to the Imus morning program, Pat Cooper. Goodbye, Mr. Cooper.
That Pat Cooper. Everybody thinks I'm going away, my friend. I ain't going nowhere, Imus. I just started.
I understand.
I just started. You got to understand.
How is
comedy? Is genius. You, for some reason, don't like comedy. You have no sense of humor.
How is comedy?
Comedy for me is dynamic.
You're not going to answer any questions, right?
I wouldn't ask you a question.
So we saw Mr. Cooper. I did.
Well, that's because forget what you saw.
Okay.
This is me.
Yeah.
What you saw the other night was that night.
Yeah.
I work differently when I work the Westbury Music Fair. I work at the place. But that night it was war.
Yes,
because you started a war.
No, I didn't.
You
What did
said
I do?
was Connie Francis' opening act, which was an honor. Because you never worked with Connie Francis. She wouldn't have you on her show.
You told me that.
But you don't say that to a man of my caliber. Going up there, you're saying Tommy Sand. It's over for these people. I'm still in the game. Tommy's singing Malavemin in a hallway now. It's over. It's over.
I know that,
but I love her. But it's over. See, I know when it's over for me, it's going to be Cooper, no more less. But a lot of these people who are still in the business, 90, 91 years old, 85 years old, and they can't get a laugh, they're shoving it down your throat. I don't shove nothing down your throat. I am still alive. Your producer said I was dead.
Yeah.
Did you see your producer? Look at him.
Well,
look at him.
I look good.
He's the only guy I know walks at an angle for crying out loud.
Can I give you something to drink?
No, I don't want anything at all.
Coffee, tea, or an
Not
IV?
anything. I just came here, and your driver, by the way, wonderful man.
Yeah.
He hums, a lot of humming in the cars. How do you like driving for Imus? He says, who?
You know, there's a volume control over. See where your headphones are plugged in there?
Why? What's the matter? Can't you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. I just didn't want if you could hear yourself.
I don't want to hear myself. I know what I want to say in front.
There's two of us.
You got a big crowd. You got a lot of spies.
Here's what I don't understand. So, how about Rob Bartlett? Is that the phoniest person you've ever met?
Rob Bartlett happens to be a semi-genius.
Let me tell you something. When he found out that you were going to be on out there at that benefit the other night, what was there?
Nowhere. You came from out of the woods, and I hear a guy go, yeah, you know, and I kept going, yeah, and all of a sudden he put him on tongues, a big hit. I'm a genius. I say great things. I have no ability to swim. I jump in oceans. I say, people, you don't do nothing. All you do is wear a corduroy, and we know you're coming down the hallway. But I say that's okay. Don't be angry and don't be envious. I admire how you're getting away with this. Not only that, you're going to go to Philadelphia, you're going to go to Maine. You got some chutzpah to go to Maine. See, you belong in Maine, because nobody in Maine's going to say anything. They eat their lobsters and lay there and there, and they work. So you're good for that area. Stay out of big cities. You shouldn't be in big cities.
We were in Detroit on Friday.
Why? Why?
Well, I don't know. Why were we there? I don't. That's a good question.
No, you know something? It's good to get away. You wave.
We actually had fun.
But no one has ever quoted you. I've been quoted on everything I say. No one said, what does Don Imus say? They said, look, let's not get involved. The guy, nice guy, he comes in with a leather jacket, and he's always complaining. I complain, there's something wrong with me. You complain since you were from the day you were born. Let it alone.
Hey, what do you think about this Marv Albert deal?
I don't think he did anything wrong. Listen to me.
He bit the woman 15 times. What are you talking about?
Want to talk to my wife?
Well, no.
You want me to tell you where I bit her?
No, I don't want
so
to.
So 30 years from now, she's going to take me to court? You want to know my sex life? That's it. That's it.
No.
Leave the guy alone. What happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago? All of a sudden, hey, I kissed my daughter's rear end 27 years ago. Now today she's going to call me a pervert?
Well, no.
Are you sick or what?
This is a different set of circumstances.
It's not a circumstance. The man turned around, he got a little horny, you gave her a little notch on this. If horses do it, they say, my God, a man and a stallion, they bid each other to get a faster horse. Maybe she's going to run faster now. What the hell's the matter with you? What do they got this poor guy who turns around so he got a little bit excited?
Well, I don't think you can do that,
I can do anything I want to. I'm that room. The minute that girl comes in that room and I turn around and say, let's get it on, baby, I mean let's get it on.
I flopped down in my easy chair and turned on channel 2. A bad gunslinger called Salty Sam over the chasing post we flew. He trapped her in the old sawmill and said with an evil laugh,
if you don't give me the key to your ranch, I'll saw you all in half.
and then he grabbed her, and then he tied her up, and then he turned on the buzz saw, and then a long game time and bustin' with my crew. Cause whatever doggy see, you know that Snoop Doggy do. And I don't mean the nasty kind you step in, but the gangster flavor Snoop is representing. Got things locked down, you know, cause I'm all hard. Making money even though I ain't a Walmart. So for all of you crackers who still in deep denial, I'm gonna drop the science for your doggy style. There's a new plantation called the NBA. For some brothers to play on Martin Luther King Day. Freedom ain't colorblind. Cause once the contract is signed, no opportunity to decline. The change around us now be the masses' bottom line. You know I love Lincoln, wanna give him his props, and yet we diss his memory, another reason to shop. But that wooden tooth slave owning tree chopper jerk, why is his birthday enough to take off work? But when charges made against him, he decided not to refute. Now he's in the house and wonders if they mind if he uses campaign funds to pay his hefty fine. But the speaker ain't deserving any pity. Life in the big city when you lie to the committee. Cause for dismay in the U.S. of A. How about moral decay on Inauguration Day? The president takes his oath, giving a speech that he knows by rote, while Miss Jones trying to go for the fro. In the history books, it's just a mere footnote. But when swearing to God, you take his name in vain. If later on you and the missus get a reign, cause the past 4 years they've been gathering proof. How about a new promise just to tell the truth?
Senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon. Yes, thank you. Thank you for even deigning to speak with me. Imus in the morning. Much less grant me an audience and another opportunity to appear on your extraordinary broadcast. Oh, Earl of the Influential. Jesus, the other suspects just can't stand it, can they? The Mike Wallaces and Tim Russerts and those of that ilk who fancy themselves influential. Especially Mr. Wallace. Bitter fellow, bitter. As revealed in that letter he wrote you, admitting how your brief, and I thought quite tasteful discussion of the Time Magazine 25, if you will, grated on him. Yeah. I'm afraid he's embittered by his many, many decades of being out there on the periphery of power, not at its center. No, Dono, you are now the center of mass around which Wallaces and Russerts orbit like so many meaningless moths. They're dying. You're on the list. They are not. And now then, here's what I would do, were I you. About once a month, see, you fax him a copy of the list along with a blank piece of paper with these notations. On the time list at the top, write me. On the blank page, write you. I'm telling you, you can have Mike Wallace chain-smoking stuff out of his medicine cabinet, I do. And Russert, well, you know how his eyes kind of bug out anyway? You can have him in a separated at birth deal. Tim Russert, Barbara Bush. But let's not gloat. No. Although I do wonder whether Time will follow up with America's top 25 losers list. Eh, Correspondent Wallace? You know, I never liked the nosy bastard anyway. And I'm just delighted to have this chance to rub you in his lunar landscape puss. Okay, issue 2. Janet Reno, public defender. Jesus, and I thought it was only Jennifer Flowers who'd laid down for Bill Clinton. Missed that one a mile. Because now we discover that not only is Ms. Reno willing, she's our nation's very first blow-up attorney general. There is no position on anything this woman isn't willing to assume to satisfy that sap who's over there sitting in my office. I mean, if 55 police officers caught Al Gore and Bill Clinton gang robbing a Chinese nun in Roy Romer's office and handing her change purse directly to Christopher Dodd, Reno would say they were giving her a back rub and helping her carry her luggage. This has now become laughable, J.D. Here's a woman who's the attorney general who shouldn't be a meter maid. God. Issue, 3? Okay, issue 3. Speaking of things that can't be explained, Sammy the Bull, John Gotti's John Dean. Can you figure this guy? He rats out John Gotti and then does a media tour? Excuse me, is this genius Sam Gravano or Salman Rushdie? Well, at least he can do a cameo in the inevitable movie. Only it won't be Sonny, it'll be Sammy at the toll booth playing a cheese grater. Quickly, James McDougal, speaking of rats, ratting out Mr. Clinton, saying Bubber was disingenuous after all in some Whitewater testimony. Well, been there, done that. Here's my question at this point. Do you have to buy your own crutches in prison? Now joining the Teflon Don, the prevaricating president. 2 I words this week, I-men. Influence and impeachment. From one who knows how the tycoons topple, Dick Nixon, himself a former president of the United States. Till all that ugliness
and death and everything. Damn it.
Yeah, well, I would now like to welcome Rabbi Mark Gelman and Monsignor Tom Hartman. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Do you still have that hideous cable show you were doing? The God Squad? Are these all real questions?
Yeah, they really are. Yeah. And Maya Angelou called and she said...
We like Maya Angelou. You ever heard Bernard do Maya Angelou?
We have.
He's not going to do it now.
No, please, Bernard, please.
Let me get a cigarette.
No.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
It'll be the first television program teaching children about the religions of the world. And they animated Tommy, they animated me, and they said, look, he has a large nose, okay? It's not that large.
No, it's not.
It's not that large, and we want you to change the animation. That's the way it is. You know, we now have a priest who looks, like Robert Redford, and we have a rabbi who...
looks like Joe Camel.
Who looks like Joe Camel.
Nissan cross-country sales event.
And on radio, and once America's most influential broadcaster, Paul Harvey.
Hello, Americans. Stand by for news.
Oh, good.
And as always, the rest of the story. Yeah. Oh, did I say hello, Americans?
Yeah.
Would you accept my apology?
No.
I meant to say hello, stupid Americans. Oh, no? Well, Citizen Inane, you might not think so, but you know who does?
No.
Your president.
Uh-oh.
And not just stupid, but the possessor of a Senator Richard Shelby IQ. Measurable with a rain gauge. Yes, liar buyer, it appears that even though our president didn't inhale, he and his missus were nevertheless unconscious. I mean, out cold during much of their first term. Because even though old dear chum James Blair says he warned them way back when that it looked like Webb Hubbell was the worst kind of crook, a lawyer thief, it must have gone over their heads.
Yeah.
And when Blair Boy told them they'd have to jettison their Justice Department jello butt, and right now, neither of them were curious enough to ask, how come? So, goodness gracious me, neither Bill nor Hill knew just what kind of cow pie pile Webb had stepped in. That's our story. We're sticking to it. Well, Silo Sap, how stupid are you? How stupid am I? Bill, you didn't inhale, and we're not swallowing. Page 2. Well, incredulous elector, at least our commander-in-chief assures us that he's cooperating fully now. Cooperating fully, but had no idea Webb was in such a peck of trouble back when Lippo paid the hippo that initial $100,000. Cooperating fully as he fights tooth and nail to keep Hillary's grand jury debriefing notes hidden.
Well.
Cooperating fully, stonewalling Congress on campaign finance data. Cooperating fully while stalling, as long as humanly possible, Paula Jones picked the Pecker lawsuit. In fact, I wish Mr. and Mrs. Clinton would stop being so amenable to everything.
Yeah.
But no chance, I guess.
No.
Nope, not until both cooperate themselves right into a pair of those shiny chrome Susan McDougal designer wrist bracelets. In fact, just a few days ago, did you happen to hear him? No. Bill said, all I can do is keep smiling, keep cooperating, and answer the questions that are asked of me. Answer this one, then. For your trip back to Arkansas, would you like an aisle seat or a window? Paul Harvey, good day.
Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender. Pretending that I'm doing well. My need is that I pretend too much. I'm lonely, but no one can tell.
Imus in the morning.
Chiefs go down in flames. Good morning, Mike Greenwood Sports.
Is that necessary?
AFC playoffs from Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs lose to the Broncos 14-10. Another disappointing end to what was a great regular season. Their coach Marty Schottenheimer, the chief, tried to put it into words.
In a couple of words, I think, that are obvious: disappointment, frustration.
Choking, unprepared.
I don't think
Scared,
they choked.
intimidated.
I don't think they were scared or intimidated.
How about vacation?
Well,
Plenty of words can be used. When it's all said and done, though, Marty will do what Marty always does.
I said many, many years ago, when I first started in coaching, that at the end of each day, I would walk to my mirror in the evening, and I would look in the mirror, and I would ask, Marty, is there anything else you could have done in this day to enable you and your football team to be successful?
Now he can walk to the mirror and say, Marty, when is your tea time tomorrow?
Well, it's unpleasant for Marty.
Yeah, it's unpleasant in Kansas City where they are rabid Chiefs fans.
Why we had the confusion at the end of the game is beyond me, but
Well, the headset went down. The communication system in the quarterback's helmet went down. So poor Elvis couldn't get the plays in from the
and the
sideline.
fans were screaming so loud they couldn't hear anything.
Right.
So they're supposed to scream when the other team has the ball, but some of them didn't get the message.
No.
Or by that time we're drunk.
By the fourth quarter, in that kind of weather,
or excited.
There's a lot of drunkenness. But happy drunks. Denver now plays Pittsburgh. Quarterback John Elway of the Broncos was a bit cryptic when talking about what this game meant to certain players.
For this football team, I think it's kind of a coming out party. You know, for us to come in here and win, it's really a kind of a coming out party.
Coming out of what? Elway just smiled when he was asked what he was talking about. You read between the lines, I think you know what I'm talking about.
No, we don't. No, have any idea what you're talking about.
Coming out of the closet.
Coming out.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Fairly obvious to me.
I'm comfortable with that. I just don't know how I missed that.
There's a lot more homosexuality in the NFL than you're aware of.
I know there is among the announcer corps, Mike.
Do you have a problem with that?
You and Trumpy.
Do you have a... Why would you pick poor Trumpy?
Everybody knows that Trumpy's gay.
No, common knowledge. Nobody knows that.
It's common knowledge. Bob Trumpy, everybody knows that.
I've never heard that. I've been in a room with him alone.
Wake up. Everybody knows
The
that.
original panty boy.
Bob Trumpy? Oh, absolutely.
That's the first I've heard.
Howie Long? Absolutely.
Certainly.
Really?
Yeah, they would.
He's such a...
Big time. Yeah. Go ahead.
NFC Championship game. It's Green Bay at San Francisco. Packers beat the Buccaneers 21-7 at Lambeau Field. Brett Favre and the Pack just one win away from their second Super Bowl appearance.
About who?
Favre. From the NBA tonight, Madison Square Garden, Knicks and the Washington Wizards.
So stupid.
Knicks are now 3-2 without Patrick Ewing, their fallen warrior, who will be on the bench.
It's like the Nazis losing Rommel.
Lending moral support to his teammates. Teammates, of course, still shell-shocked at the devastating injury
I'm sure they are.
to their captain.
They don't even know he's gone.
More shots for me! That's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
And on the phone now, live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is our old friend Mark. Good morning, Mark.
Hi, man. You have no idea how great it is to actually be talking to you live in person after spending the last 2 weeks at the Best of Imus. Not that the Best of Imus isn't brilliant, especially the fact that there's two versions, the radio and the MSNBC, so it's like an embarrassment of riches. It's like the certs of radio, because it's two Imus in the mornings and one. It's quite comforting, really. Almost makes me feel normal. I mean, as normal as a person can get who eats Prozac like they were Pez.
Yeah.
I actually have a little Pez dispenser I made in your likeness. Whenever I get to feeling a little jumpy, I just pull back that head of yours and yank it out the Prozac out of your neck. I don't know if this is a coincidence or what, but I was off for the past 2 weeks myself. Well, technically, I've been off for the past 2 years, ever since the post office gave me that leave of absence after my psychiatric evaluation categorized me as postage due. But I've been using the time wisely. I did some tinkering around in my workshop with some timer devices and stuff, and I finally cataloged my collection of severed heads by ethnic origin and dated decapitation. I even made some New Year's resolutions, like I'm going to read A Catcher in the Rye again, because it's almost my favorite book of all time, next to God's Other Son and Two Guys, Four Corners, that is. And of course, that Whittaker Chambers book, which reminds me, I heard you got one of those Woodstock typewriters from Mrs. Imus for Christmas. Well, imagine that, aren't you the lucky one? Boy, I said it was good to you. I was looking for one of those for months and months and months and months, ever since you started talking about Alger Hiss for months and months and months and months. I wanted one of those Woodstock typewriters because I think it would be just the perfect thing for me to use to write my manifesto.
Mama, he's crazy. Crazy over me. In my life is where he says he always wants to be. I've never been so loved. He beats all I've ever seen. Mama, he's crazy. He's crazy over me. Imus in the morning.
You run your own business? If so, check.
Half Sexton. Right here now, the Imus in the Morning program. Chubba Bubba with Chubby Something.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. How will they remember me? What is my legacy?
Go, baby. Oh, God. I remember commenting at the time, you son of a bitch. I bet that's not the first time he said that. Yeah, the first time I said it was with your mama, you rinking up old bastard. And my point is... What is your point, you drunk? There is an Imus in the morning.
Nagano, Prelude to Glory.
To have a shower cleaner that works on mildew, soap scum, hard water, even well water, and is environmentally safe. Clean shower, what I'm talking about, baby, is after you use it, you'll say it is the perfect name. Clean shower will keep your shower clean without scrubbing, rinsing.
Now, Imus in the morning 2020 sports. Here's Mark Breen.
Bounce pass down low to Johnson. Johnson to Lane. His shot is short. It's an air ball collected by Cheney. Now Strickland lobbing for Weber. The slam. Weber. The slam. Oh, the slam.
Wizards win. Wizards win a wild one. Good morning. Mike Breen with Sports. Dave Johnson, the call. WWRC in Washington.
Well, I kind of like Dave.
What's not to like? Jawan, Calvert, Weber, Rod, and the Wizards whacked the Knicks at the Garden last night.
Little black magic, baby.
Despite the win, Jawan Howard says he's still impressed with the way the Knicks are playing without Patrick Ewing.
I don't know if it comes from the players knowing how to play together or the coaching. I think it might be both.
So the Wizards get a good win on the road last night. They had lost 14 in a row at Madison Square Garden.
That will be fine. Quite some athletes out there. Go right ahead. I think that's fine.
Also last night, Toronto playing at home lost by 24 to the Houston Rockets. Fans at Skydome booing their Toronto team. Raptors point guard Damon Stoudemire understood.
If I was in the stands and I paid my money to watch basketball and I seen it played the way it was played tonight, I would have booed too.
There you go.
Hit it.
Canadian brethren unhappy with the play of their team, but certainly not the Rockets. And their coach Rudy Tomjanovich, who said it was no stopping his club.
That's the amazing thing about sports. Somebody gets it rolling, and no matter what you say, no matter what you try to do, sometimes it's like a boulder rolling down the side of a hill.
About time for Kermit Washington to take that boulder and smack you again on it.
Yep, like a punch coming right at your eye. On to baseball. When the Boston Red Sox have their home opener in April, there'll be no alcohol served at Fenway Park.
What?
Games being played in the afternoon, same day as Good Friday, and the first night of Passover.
So what?
So the Red Sox have decided not to serve any beer, no alcohol whatsoever. Ironically, Dennis from Boston was scheduled to throw out the first pitch of the day.
Damn fool.
A little slowly, man. Other baseball news, Don Sutton, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Last night, Sutton officially elected to Cooperstown. He's the only inductee for 1998, and he was asked if there are any words to describe his feelings.
Speechless, numb.
Same feelings as if you're having a stroke. Sutton will be inducted this summer. Again, the only guy, at least for now, the Veterans Committee could vote in some old-time guys who they had friendships with over the years.
That'd be great.
Stick them in.
Yeah, that'd be great.
NFL news, according to a published report in the Contra Costa Times, the Oakland Raiders have received permission to talk to Bill Belichick about becoming their head coach. Belichick, of course, the defensive coordinator for Bill Parcells and the Jets. The only problem is Raiders have a head coach right now. It's Joe Bugle, but apparently Al Davis has not fired him yet. Apparently, though, he still wants to talk to others about taking over.
I can't believe Belichick would leave the Jets situation, can you?
No, I don't think so.
No. I would hope he wouldn't.
Leave the coach, come on.
Didn't he learn his lesson in Cleveland? He's not head coach material.
That's it.
He needs a fat tuna to tell him what to do.
He's an authority.
Yeah. So he needs to know what
supervision.
Yes, he needs to know what his role is.
Sure. That's exactly right.
25 if they are. Now, here now with comment and observation on headline issues of the day, I'm Mr. Washington senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
Yes, indeed. Imus in the new year. Have I wished you a happy new year yet? I do.
Well, no.
Good. Now then, to urgent matters confronting us as we race headlong toward the millennium. A difficult journey, in my view. Let's go over a couple of Dick Dixon's blueprints for tomorrow, very briefly. Taxes. The Clinton administration, J.D., trying to determine what to do. What's prudent? What's the downside? The upside? My judgment, looking at the economy, the prospect of a budget surplus, from Mr. Clinton's viewpoint, cut the damn taxes, you moron! If you have even the most remote hope of being remembered by the historians as anything but a penis with a title attached.
Fine.
Jesus, how hard is this?
What?
Say, did you see the film?
How hard is what?
Oh, I I get it. Little pee-pee joke. Say, did you see the film of Mr. and Mrs. Clinton on the beaches of St. Thomas, Dono? I don't know what he's been doing, but he looks wonderful, having apparently shed about what she weighs. The marine biological equivalent of Bill Parcells. Oh, and speaking of dead fish, it looks as though somebody's going to be waking up with the old proverbial horse's head in New York, and I couldn't be happier. Geraldine Ferraro going after Alphonse D'Amato for his Senate seat, and just as Mayor Giuliani was bragging about getting New York's crime rate down, brings a whole new connotation to the term family values, wouldn't you say? If I recall certain little whispers from past Jerry Ferraro races, Al will be lucky if he doesn't turn up Election Day looking like Sonny at the toll booth. Which brings me to David Brinkley, the esteemed journalist, showing up this week as a spokesman for agribusiness giant Archer Daniels Midland. He said he'd continue giving us straight, unvarnished information, as he always had, but chose not to recall, I guess, that ADM got nailed for $100 million in a little price-fixing caper. Oh, well, you know, $100 million really isn't what it used to be, right? What's next, David? You pop out of a suitcase with Sammy Gravano or something? Say, you know how Steve Fawcett could have made it around the world, I meant? No. If he'd hooked his damn gondola to Benjamin Netanyahu. Is that a gas bag or what? Here's the Richard Nixon solution to the whole intractable Middle East dilemma. A two-tiered approach. Very simple. Appeal to basic immutable instincts of the adversarial parties. Throw a quarter into the Mediterranean off Tel Aviv. Throw a goat wearing a thong into the Persian Gulf. Voila! End of the Israelis, end of the Arabs. Jesus, I'm sick of all of them. And speaking of ethnic oddities, this unfortunate individual in the Arizona prison, a convicted murderer, goes on a hunger strike, finally died, because he wanted a special diet? Am I missing something here? The guy was an Ethiopian, and his big threat was a hunger strike? What do you not eat if you're a Ethiopian? Hey, I'm on strike for skinnier flies. Like this litigation Oprah Winfrey is involved in with beef farmers. I saw this headline, Oprah in mad cow suit. Yes, and all I could think of is she's late for Halloween. Ouch! Dick Scope 98, Dono. The initial look by Dick Nixon, once the leader of the entire free world.
No, there's no hot dogs, Bernard. I ordered a bagel.
Bernard.
Just wrap them in the aluminum.
Bernard.
What's that funny, Bernard?
It's not even, you know what? I don't even care anymore because it's not even worth commenting or arguing with him anymore because, like he told you before, his thumbs are sore from trying to button his pants.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
There's a picture of her now on MSNBC with one of those denim shirts on and go. Yeah, she looks pretty good, doesn't she?
She looks hot.
Hey, baby.
Come on.
Come on over here.
Anyway,
call Fred, 1-800-272.
Idiots.
1-800-272.
Two old fools.
Two old fools, hey, baby.
1-800-272. 1957. So that's your secret.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
He mowed him in New York for 30 years, and you know, that's enough. Scott Muni.
Scott's all here with you, finally back from the gut-wrenching emotional trauma and tedium known as the holidays. But I don't care how hideous your Christmas was. One thing's for sure, it was a hell of a lot better than NBC Entertainment President Warren Littlefield's. Jerry Seinfeld, announcing on Christmas Eve that he won't be returning to the Peacock next season, turned 30 Rock into the Titanic, and that self-proclaimed programming genius Littlefield was left running around on deck looking for a cork big enough to plug the hole. NBC hasn't had it this bad since Ted Danson decided to hang up the hairpiece to go suck up to the Clintons. I always thought Littlefield stepped in an enormous pile of when he put Seinfeld on in the first place. How that thing ever got a green light, let alone go on to become a huge hit, is beyond me. What was that pitch meeting like? Well, it's a bunch of whiny, unlikable, developmentally arrested, middle-aged New York Jewish yuppies talking about nothing. Ooh, quick, get Jack Welch on the phone. Nevertheless, it ended up making TV history, despite the fact that the star of the show was one of those monotonous, did you ever notice, stand-up comedians. Did you ever notice how you always lose socks in the dryer? Jesus, was that ever tedious? But whatever the reason for Seinfeld's success, it certainly had nothing to do with Warren Littlefield, because this is the guy who also thought it was a good idea to get Tony Danza back in prime time and give Brooke Shields her own show. And believe me, the only reason people tune into Suddenly Susan is to wonder what the hell is the deal with those eyebrows of hers. Jesus, has this insufferable little twink ever heard of a tweezer? She looks like Pierre Salinger. I must admit, I do have a morbid curiosity about what Littlefield's going to end up doing to plug the whole Seinfeld leaves. He can't put Dateline on any more than it already is. Otherwise, when Jane Pauley finally calls it quits, he'll have to give her 40 acres and a mule. All I know is, if it were up to me, 2 words, Jenny McCarthy. Like Littlefield says, she's larger than life, she cuts through the clutter, she's got universal appeal, plus she's got a set of yabbos that are just begging for another one of those gimmicky 3D episodes everybody did last year. All he's got to do is get the writers to work in a scene every week where she eats a hot dog or licks an ice cream cone, and we're talking a 60 share. Now that's what I call must-see TV.
Not many Puerto Ricans where I live now. I live in Los Angeles. There's about 200,000 Puerto Ricans in one room. But it's better than the neighborhood I grew up in. I grew up in New York City in an area called Washington Heights, which was like a ghetto suburb. Slums with trees. Even the birds were junkies. And dope addict sparrows who didn't know how to fly. Just fall out of trees and bother people, right? Tweet, tweet, sucker, give me a quarter.
Imus in the morning.
Hi, I'm
I'm a cousin of Liz.
What's up, baby? She might have Charles in a leg lock. Come on, baby. We want to do the news here.
Listen,
Yeah.
all I wanted to say was you miss him so much.
Tell me about it.
You are absolutely beside yourself. You don't know what to do.
Tell me.
And you're trying to hide your pain and your concern by
I'm not trying to hide anything.
You're hurting.
I'm not hurting at all.
Yes, you are.
Why am I hurting?
You love him. You miss him. He's your best friend. You said it yourself.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do with yourself, and I think that is so sweet.
He should be here.
No, leave him alone. He's not feeling well. If anything, you should send him flowers or
I'm not going to send him anything.
That's not happening.
My lung collapsed and I showed up.
Oh, stop it.
I did an entire program with a collapsed lung, by the way.
We're not talking about you. We're talking about your feelings for Charles McCord.
Keep it real, yo.
All right. Shut up, Bernard.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm smack Bernard. I want to smack Bernard so
Don't you love it when white people try to talk like black people? You want to
I
spank
love
me?
it.
Hey, let me tell you something, Cecile. This Charles told me not to tell this story on the air.
Tell it.
But I'm going to tell it because I'm not going to because I am not phony. Believe me, I'm a lot of things. I ain't the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not the dumbest either.
You're sweet.
The other night, I was talking in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And
baby.
And my wife said, damn it. My wife said that I was complaining about I was saying you're prosecuting the wrong African American.
And?
That's what I said.
You need help.
Okay, but wait a minute. That's what I said in my sleep.
Yeah?
I said African American.
Yeah?
What do you think I say in my office? Not African American? Of course not.
I could say a few words, but
absolutely.
You probably cut me off the air by
No, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not,
Can I say the word jungle bunny?
No, I never say that.
Come on. Can I say the word?
I do not say that.
Can I say the word spear chucker?
I don't say that either. No, I don't say that. But you know what I'm saying.
I know.
I don't say it in a racist, disparaging way, but I thought it was interesting that talking in my sleep.
You said African American.
Well, that's weak, isn't it?
You need help.
Tell me about it.
Help me, please.
All right, I'll see you later. It's 11 after the hour.
Just say no.
Cecile from Jamaica. Just say no, baby. Just say no. Cheer up.
Pipe down, Puff Daddy. All right.
African American in my sleep. Maybe you got the wrong Puff. That's idiotic, isn't it?
I don't want to know.
No, man.
I don't want to know.
That's not what happens in the office. Anyway. Most of
Just get out. Yeah, we don't get that.
All right, here's Jane Messler with the news. Good morning, Jane. I like her. We ever talked to her before? Cecilia. Yeah, she's great.
She's a riot.
Also, got it going on. Apparently drunk. On the pipe.
Got something
on the pipe,
going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Know that. It's hot in this studio. Then get out. And you know what I'm wearing?
I have on my brother's,
I got my tickets ready to go see the caveman, so I went to offer my review when I come back. This accident, or this incident happened around 1951, which was the year that I was born.
59.
59?
Yeah.
Well, how come my mother always beat me up when I was with my friends on the park? Say, you're not going to be no cabrón like a grown. You know what I mean?
What happened? Well, I don't know. We're talking about Paul Simon's musical.
That's correct.
Which is based on this incident involving Salvador Agron.
Right.
Who was a 14 or 15 or 16-year-old kid.
Right. Evidently he was involved in dancing and stuff.
Yes.
Every time my mother used to see me in the park with 2 or 3 friends, he said, Luisito, come over here. Let me tell you something. You don't want to turn into another Agron, are you? Because you know what they do to Puerto Ricans here. You know that, right? So I'm going to go see if it's true, everything that they say, and I will come back and offer my review to you.
When are you going to see the caveman?
After January 31st, I think I got the date for it.
I think that's okay, because they're still working on it, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And for what I hear, it's going to be a very good musical. But that's strange also to make a musical out of such a tragedy, don't you think?
Probably is, and there are some people, victims' rights folks, and some other people who are upset about it, although we talked to Paul Simon about it. I don't know if you heard our conversation.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
He's not certainly glorifying this event.
That's correct.
And he was drawn to the story because of the music initially, and then he got into considering the idea of redemption and forgiveness and those kinds of issues, and it got to a point where it made my hair hurt, frankly. But I like Paul Simon enormously, Paul Simon.
Yep.
And I'll be interested to see what you think, Louis.
He has done some great work before, and I'm really interested to see how he portrays the whole incident. And I actually going for the musical, really, for his music is terrific. There's no question about that.
You know about this kid, the salsa kid, Mark Anthony?
Yes, I do.
Man,
I also know about Ruben Blades, which is not Puerto Rican, by the way. He happens to be Panamanian, but, you know, we're sleeping in there.
Well, you're hip to Mark Anthony, right?
Oh, hell yeah. You know, he's my boy.
Man, I mean, that kid, I'd never heard of him.
Well,
I'm not listening to salsa music, am I?
Nah, I don't think
listen to Deborah McClendon and Kinky. Dwight Yoakam.
That's correct.
But man, this kid is fabulous.
For what he's always been very good. And again, Paul Simon has done very good work, and I'm very interested to see how he portrayed the whole incident.
Call me and let me know what you think.
I will, Dan.
Right, what do you think of Les Mis, Louis? Shut up, fuzzhead. It's 30 minutes after the hour.
Now, Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports with Mark Breen.
Francis along the goal line, beats Hatcher, he shoots, he scores! Kevin Hatcher on the power play, 3-2 Pittsburgh.
What's happened to the once mighty Islanders? Good morning, Mike Breen with Sports. Howie Rose the call on Sports Channel. The Islanders, of course, won 4 Stanley Cups in a row long ago. Now they're one of the worst teams in the NHL. They've lost 8 games in a row, including latest last night at home to the Penguins. Coach Rick Bowness hopes his players are miserable.
It should be a very sick feeling in their stomachs, and that's what has to motivate them so that they don't get that sick feeling again. And they should never, ever, ever forget that sick feeling.
Is the guy enjoying life?
Man, what's the point of doing something if it turns you into this?
I know. Apparently that's what Charles McCoy thought this morning.
Come on.
NBA, Denver Nuggets.
Pick it up. You're not helpful here, Bernard. And you either, Lou. Go ahead, Mike.
Denver Nuggets hired Bill Hanslick as their new head coach this season. His first head coaching job. A dream come true for Hanslick. Nuggets lost last night, however, to Dallas. 14 losses in a row. Their record, 2-29.
Do they have all white players on these teams, or what's the problem?
What are you trying to say?
That's beautiful.
Explain what you mean.
Simon, you listening?
No, I'm just wondering.
That's great.
Well, how can you have
sensitive Don Imus?
How can you have 2 NBA teams who can't win? I mean, first of all, obviously I was kidding, but I mean,
smoking crack all night?
Here's what I don't understand: how did they get in the NBA? I mean, you can go down here to 4th Street in the Village and watch people play basketball who are better than these guys.
You're probably right.
Well, I don't understand that. Don't bad decisions in the front office. You make trades. You think a guy's going to be good. You draft a player out of college. You think he's going to be good. They're a very young team. They've got some nice young players, but they don't have the experience to compete with the veterans.
How's our little friend Allen Iverson doing down in Philly?
Our little friend?
Yeah.
He's driving Larry Brown nuts.
He is.
Yeah.
Isn't he a good player?
He's a very good player.
And when Larry's not they're not on the same page, or what's the problem?
That's exactly right.
Okay. He's a Gen Xer, and Larry's an old fool like I am.
Alan wants him to shoot all the time. Larry wants him to pass it once in a while.
He's a scum. Should be the National Burglars Association. He's involved.
So that's essentially what we have. We have the kid's a murderer, and Larry's a Gen Xer.
Gen Xer.
Gen Xer. It's a murderer.
Oh, he's a sweet guy. Oh, just a little misunderstanding.
Also, the guy smokes a little crack. Lighten up.
Stealing.
He wasn't smoking crack. Well, he was smoking marijuana, which is fine.
Well, he got caught smoking that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Come on, Mike. Come on.
So the Nuggets are 2-29. Hanslick finally admitted his team is not very good.
That's the plain truth. We stink.
Hanslick may soon be out of a head coaching job, at least though he's honest about his team's ability. In boxing, WBC champ Lennox Lewis can't get a fight with Evander Holyfield.
I'm going to buy a professional team, you know.
Very great.
Let's hope Latrell Sprewell is on it.
Because I really want the experience of having players tell me that they don't feel like playing. Or that it's not important to them whether they win or lose or not.
And what would you say to them?
Well, we'll get into that when that happens. I don't think that'll happen. I think when you set the proper tone and you hire the right coach, I don't think it's not going to happen with my team. It's not going to happen.
So you'd be like a Jerry Jones, a George Steinbrenner?
No, because I'm not a jerk like they are. But I don't. I wouldn't disrespect people. But
right.
I think you got to make it plain what the deal is.
Connie Mack.
Mark Shot type.
No, I'm not a racist. So go ahead.
So Lewis can't get a fight with Holyfield.
Prosecuting the wrong African Americans.
How great is that?
Maybe it's because you're sleeping on that buckwheat pillow.
You're saying that stuff. And Charles said, well, you shouldn't tell that story because it'll make you. But I'm not. But nobody thinks I'm a racist except one guy, the guy from the Newsday. And he does Les Payne, and he doesn't in his heart believe I'm a racist.
No, not at all.
But I just thought that was interesting. I'm talking to my slave saying African American. Yeah, I can prosecute the wrong African American. Which, believe me, is not the same thing I do back in my office. And Charles said, well, you shouldn't tell people that. And I said, why not? I'm not going to lie about it.
No, of course not.
I'm not a racist. I don't say it in a racist way, and I don't say it a lot anyway. But, I mean, I have said it.
Right, you're just a jerk. You're not a racist.
Well, so
All around jerk.
I'm going to lie about it. And, of course, Charles now, he's homesick. That creep.
Yeah, he's sick.
Right.
It's irritating.
He's home. So Lennox Lewis will fight Shannon Briggs, who just beat George Foreman. Lewis,
well, Shannon Briggs.
right.
But he didn't beat that. I mean, that was the thing that big investigation was all about. The thing that Senator John McCain got involved in, a whole boxing scam when they gave that decision to Shannon Briggs.
It's in the books that Briggs won. Okay, don't yell at me.
All right, fine.
But Lewis still wants to fight Holyfield.
Lennox Lewis is willing, and he's just waiting. He's trying to make some money first because he realizes when he steps in the ring with Lennox Lewis, he's going to lose.
Who is that?
It's Lennox Lewis talking about Lennox
I
Lewis.
see. Talking about Lennox. I see. I understand.
It's another moron who talks in the third person all the time.
I hate that.
Finally, 4 high school cheerleaders from Connecticut have been thrown off their pom-pom squad for their part in a vandalism spree. The girls spray-painted buildings in a rival school, resulting in a couple of $1,000 worth of damage. While they were spending their time graffitiing instead of doing what they should be doing, taking care of the players.
Working on that butt blaster.
That's sports. I might bring it.
Dating Alex Kelly or somebody. It's 24 till the hour now.
Hallelujah, if you see my body go hard, I can be your long lost pal. I can call you Daddy, Daddy when you call me out, call me. Imus in the morning.
Gentlemen.
We had a thing going on. It was probably wrong.
highly trained attack dog, right, Fred?
Yes.
Okay.
Hollering at him upsets him.
Right.
And making any kind of fast move upsets him.
Right.
And looking him in the eye, he doesn't like that.
Right. What a great pet to have. You can't call him because he doesn't want you to raise your voice. You can't reach over to pet him, or you have to draw back a bloody stub. Right.
You can't look at him.
And you can't look at him. That's great.
Imagine if you peed on his head.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Good morning, Marguerite.
Hi. Hey, Fred.
Yeah.
My mom came to Santa Fe and she got you to sign the book for me.
Maybe next time you can come with her. They love me here in Santa Fe. I can show you all around the city.
Yeah, ride around in my brother's bulletproof truck. Sit in a shotgun with his attack dog. That's why my brother has 15 guns and an attack dog, because everybody loves him.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
From the closet, Hank Hill. Hank.
Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and cry and try to sleep.
I'm not one of those Nike-wearing, applesauce-eating, nut-snipping, Armageddon whack jobs who believe the year 2000 will bring about the end of the world as we know it, but there does seem to be an unusually large number of bizarre events transpiring lately that, for my money, could very well be signs of the impending apocalypse. How else can you explain a world where circumnavigating the globe in a hot air balloon has become safer than skiing? Everybody with a tank of helium and a laundry baskets sailing off without injury. Yet ski resort trees are now suddenly more deadly to devotees of the downhill than Claudine Longet at the Spider Savage Invitational. Why else would it be that some hygienically challenged Silas Marner wannabe who spends years locked in a 10-by-12 cabin plotting an overthrow of technological society can paralyze his court proceedings because his lawyers want to portray him as a couple of bubbles off plum? Since when did writing manifestos and making letter bombs become testaments to mental health? And although it may not exactly be the seventh sign, I nonetheless find homosexuals fighting for admission to the Boy Scouts of America a harbinger of biblical doom. If for no other reason than they can't understand why an organization in which groups of young boys in short pants frequently camp out in the woods don't want some pansy pack leader singing show tunes around the campfire at the weenie roast. But the thing I'm most afraid of is I've discovered that Satan incarnate is not only walking among us, but actually hosts a nationally syndicated morning show. And no, it's not the obvious choice, because the devil's far too cunning and insidious to disguise himself as Imus. But after that insipid and transparent on-air tirade of hers, I've come to the conclusion that Kathy Lee Gifford is the Antichrist, the princess of darkness, the embodiment of evil in a polyester pantsuit. And unless sometime soon old Regis yanks off her hair, revealing the 3 6s tattooed on the back of her head, she'll summon her minions to rise up and conquer the world. Fortunately for us, her army consists of Central American kindergartners who can easily be defeated by offering them more than 50 cents an hour.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
Ex communitatis, ex unione fidelum.
It is not heresy. I will not recant.
Shoots her mouth off? Why, that's the wrong thing to do with me. You're right.
Bitter.
That's all.
Angry.
But I'm one of the nicest people on the planet. I love Belvin.
I've noticed some sexual tension between Belvin and the Eye Man.
You are live alone, she told me.
She's jealous. One of the big matchups of the night, Larry Bird's Pacers against Danny Ainge's Suns. Two former Celtic teammates, now head coaches in the NBA. Phoenix won by 1 on the road. Bird's doing a solid job. Just wonder how long he'll put up with.
I was just going to ask you that.
Very strong. You just got to wonder how long he's going to put up with today's type player. Guys that don't put out, don't have the commitment that he did when he was a player. But so far, so good. One guy he does like, Mark Jackson. Mark has this philosophy when he takes to the court.
There's nothing like sneaking up on somebody while they're not looking and clobbing them upside the back of their head. You know what I'm saying? Snatching a purse.
That's the kind of guy that Larry Bird relates to?
Well, he likes Jackson's tough attitude on the floor. Mark, of course, a former Knick. Those Knicks play the Nets tonight for bragging rights. Nets beat the Knicks.
If there's a God on this earth, or in heaven, or anywhere else, the Nets will win tonight. The Nets will win big tonight.
Oh, you think so?
Yes. No, I don't know. I don't know what I think. Where's the game?
Madison Square Garden.
That would be better yet.
If Larry Johnson can keep from punching people out.
Yeah. John Starks should keep from freaking out.
Knuckle-dragging dirtbags.
Really, what a horrible
Knuckle-dragging dirtbags.
That's exactly what they are.
It's
what
the same guy making fun of John Starks who was kissing up to him when he was introduced to him.
I know
Please,
that.
we've gone through that story several times.
Yeah, I know. But my point about the Knicks is that they are a dreadful team, and the people like Tom Brokaw and these other pathetic weasels who show up there and pay $1,000 to sit on these front row courtside seats, it's pathetic.
Look at me. I'm sitting next to Spike.
It's pathetic.
They're without their leader, Patrick Ewing.
I don't mind.
They tried to do the show without you.
I don't mind a little lawn jockey Spike Lee going. That's fine. That racist little nitwit. But
slow-eyed little.
Yeah, that slow-eyed little dirtbag.
He's a real fan.
Yeah, but the rest of them.
That figures.
And man, Woody Allen can go with his wife.
Allen.
Jesus God, do you understand that, by the way?
Got married.
Jesus God Almighty. I mean, I just. Well,
Does that mean you're not going to be there tonight?
No, it means I will never be at a Knicks game, believe me.
All right.
I mean, I used to go occasionally years ago, but that was when I drank, so. And I may have been once or twice since but I guess I went with Lupica a couple times, but I just, no, I have no interest.
Hey, kick a field goal.
And the thing that I find disquieting is what a suck-up you are, and what a Nick butt boy you've turned into. When it's not necessary.
No, not at all.
You know.
How could you say that I'm a butt boy?
Well, please. I think. But let's not get into that. Just finish your sports report.
Orlando Magic have signed veteran guard Vernon Maxwell. Maxwell's career has been marked by failed drug tests, run-ins with the law, and the one time he ran into the stands and punched a fan in the face. But he's excited to return to the NBA.
I've been out so long, I've missed 3 months almost, with preseason and all that stuff in the training camp. So I was just, happy to be back under the bright lights and the fans in the gym.
Maxwell just been chilling over the past
Other than the bright lights in that lineup that he was in.
That's what I'm saying.
NFL news, Oakland Raiders fired Joe Bugle yesterday.
Yeah.
Bugle just 1 year on the job. He was 4-12. Raiders senior assistant Bruce Allen had this to say.
We had to make a change. We felt it was necessary because we have to get back to a winning tradition that...
One of the things I don't think Al Davis should refrain from doing is recruiting any more coaches at Promise Keepers rallies. What else?
Dallas Cowboys signed offensive lineman Larry Allen to a multi-year contract yesterday. Had a big press conference in Dallas over it. Coach Barry Switzer was not there. Owner Jerry Jones was asked why.
I don't have anything to say about our coaching today. I think that what is meaningful is that the guy that did all the work and got it done is there, and the player's there, and his most important person in his life, his wife, is here, and I'm kind of being the master of ceremonies, and we didn't need anybody else up here.
Who was he talking about, the guy who got it done?
Larry Allen.
Who's that?
It's the guy who signed a multi-year deal, the big offensive lineman.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a matter of days before Barry's gone. And finally,
Barry's skiing or something.
Finally, I'm sure you chastised Jane earlier.
Yeah.
Finally, we wish to congratulate George Young, the longtime general manager of the New York Giants, who at age 67 will step down from his post with the Giants on Thursday, official press conference. And, of course, he brought a couple of Super Bowls, or helped bring them to the Giants.
Well, okay.
Just ready to disagree with everything.
No, I'm not ready to disagree with anything, but I just don't think that we can... Well, okay.
You're bitter.
Fine. You're bitter. It's obvious.
I'm not bitter.
No, we're trying to give a little support to a guy, say how great he was, good man.
Ready to jump.
Let's talk to one of the foremost sports writers in the country. Michael Lupica. No, not Mushnick. Michael Lupica, you idiot.
Is he on the phone?
Good morning, Mr. Lupica.
Boy, those were the days, huh? Going to Knicks games, going up.
Right here now on the Imus in the Morning program, a man who is, well, pretty much not happening anymore, Rush Limbaugh. Good morning, Rush.
Read a little item about Michael, can't
girl under 17. Mike said, hey, Ted, take a walk on the child side. He said, Uncle, try the juvenile side. Then there's a story about Mikey's brother, Joe, whose ex-wife thinks he's an evil so-and-so. He says when married life starts to get dull, just find another babe, get the Pope to annul. He said, hey, babe, take a walk on the goodbye side. Get lost, babe. Here's a kick for your backside. And the Kennedy girls sing. Frank Gifford, the philanderant husband to Kathy Lee, went cruising by himself for an extramarital spree. Right in the middle of hidden camera week, Giff showed up in a video, even Regis freaked. Hey, Giff, you walking on the senile side. Better get used to being on that exile side. Then there was that B-52 pilot. Took the military code about adultery and defiled it. It says you face court-martial if you act like a whore. She never should have opened up her Bombay doors. Hey, babe, there goes your flyby side. Hey, Lieutenant, better zip up that fly side. 'Cause way back when I was the governor, wasn't happy unless I had a babe and I was loving her. Baby D's around my knees, asked Paula to kiss it. I even said please. I said, hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey, sugar beet, walk on that testify side. Monocanese, go. Do it, 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 do it. Well, you're not gonna do it. Well, let me blow this.
My line's still playing 13 minutes till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Now, here's a very clear insight into my brother's psyche, Charles. He called me yesterday, says, I got a great idea. There's a topless joint here in Santa Fe. Yeah. Couldn't find a dry cleaner, but you found a topless joint right away, didn't you?
That's just down the street.
Oh, okay, what's the name of it?
Cheeks.
So much for Santa Fe.
Hey, Bob, what's the name of that topless place down the street? Cheeks, yeah, Bob knew right away.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
I just see Bob, Fred, and Steve all down there slumped over the bar.
With their singles out.